preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios YouTube channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade J.J. Williams, thanking each and every one of you for coming back once again and joining me here in the theater. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and Santa has officially departed the North Pole. Time is running out. And as you should know by now, I've been reviewing some Christmas movies as sort of a soft reopening for Renegades Reviews. Today's film is the sequel to yesterday's entry, directed by Mike Roll from a screenplay by Robin Bernheim-Berger and Megan Metzger. Today's sequel once again stars Vanessa Hudgens, Sam Palladio, and Nick Sagar, and it's the Netflix original film, The Princess Switch, Switched Again. Released on November 19th, 2020 by Netflix, the film is the second installment in what has become the Princess Switch trilogy. It was followed by a third installment, The Princess Switch 3, Romancing the Star, which we'll be discussing tomorrow on Christmas Day. Now, our movie opens 2 years after the end of the first film. Stacy, played by Vanessa Hudgens, is now the Princess of Belgravia, while Margaret, also portrayed by Hudgens, is preparing to ascend the throne of Montenaro, following the death of the king and the decision of his son Howard to abdicate the throne. Nervous about taking on the responsibilities of ruling a nation, Margaret has ended her relationship with Kevin, played by Nick Sagar, who is now running his own bakery with Olivia, now played by Mia Lloyd, taking over the role that was originated by Alexa Adosan in the first film, in Chicago, Illinois, their hometown. Now, Stacy makes a surprise visit to Chicago on her way to the coronation and finds Kevin miserable since the breakup with Margaret. When Olivia reveals that she never mailed in the RSVP to the coronation, Stacy persuades him to reconsider and travel with her and Prince Edward, played by Sam Palladio, even though the couple has their own relationship problems. as Stacy has increasingly neglected Edward while she focuses on her duties as princess. Upon arriving, Kevin reunites with Margaret and helps her. Prince Edward, Stacy, and Olivia decorate the palace for Christmas. Now, Margaret also feels depressed about how things ended with her and Kevin. At an evening event, they dance, only to be interrupted by Lady Fiona Pembroke, Margaret's cousin, who is also portrayed by Vanessa Hudgens. Now, unbeknownst to anyone, Fiona has spent nearly all of her family's small fortune and has resorted to using her servants, Reggie and Mindy, played by Ricky Norwood and Florence Hall respectively, in order to rob the guests at the party. Back at the decrepit Pembroke estate, Fiona suddenly has an idea: to assume Margaret's identity, get crowned as queen, and loot the royal treasury, which would set her up for life. Reggie and Mindy are enthusiastic and help Fiona dye her hair and copy Margaret's makeup while studying the Queen's upcoming schedule. Back at the palace, Margaret admits that she's been too busy with royal affairs to spend time with Kevin. Complicating matters further is Count Antonio Rossi, played by Lachlan Niober, I hope I pronounced your name right, who is her chief of staff, who constantly woos her and plants seeds of doubt in Kevin's mind that he could ever be a good match for a future queen. Stacy decides the only way to fix things is for her and Margaret to switch identities again so that she and Kevin can have an afternoon to themselves while Stacy takes care of Margaret's schedule. The switch takes place with Olivia staying behind to help distract Edward while Margaret and Kevin go to a local Christmas park. There, Kevin expresses his doubts about being Margaret's equal, and she convinces him that such concerns are irrelevant as long as they love each other. Meanwhile, Reggie and Mindy abduct Stacy, thinking she's Margaret, and lock her up in Pembroke Manor. Fiona steps in just as Margaret returns, realizing that the woman she's speaking to isn't Stacy. Margaret explains the truth to Prince Edward, and they rescue Stacy from Reggie and Mindy, who are arrested and reveal Fiona's evil plan. Meanwhile, Antonio deduces the truth on his own, as Fiona forgot to cover up a tattoo on her finger. He tells her that he will move up the coronation and help her escape the country if she agrees to divide the treasury with him, as he also needs money. Just as the coronation is about to take place, Margaret and Stacy arrive and expose Fiona and Antonio. The latter is arrested while the former admits her deception and reveals that Kevin is on the way to the airport with Olivia after she told him that she didn't want to be with him anymore. They stop Kevin just as he is about to board a plane, and he and Margaret get married right there on the spot, officiated by a nearby priest. Stacy and Edward reaffirm their love for each other, and she promises to make more time for them. And he, in turn, promises not to smother her with attention. Margaret is crowned the Queen of Montanaro with Stacy, Edward, Olivia, and Fiona, who's being escorted by the police, cheering her on as our movie comes to its close. Now, again, if you've tuned into these reviews over the last few weeks, you've heard me discuss on multiple occasions how Christmas movies get held to a different standard, why that is, how they're all formulaic, even more so than your traditional rom-coms, and how, for me personally, and I don't know how you guys feel, but for me, Christmas movies come down to one simple thing. Was I entertained? We've discussed multiple times now how the plots are often void of depth, because they want you to believe in the impossible. Believe in the spirit of Christmas. Believe in the Christmas miracle, which, if you don't know that I believe in that by now, what are you doing watching this review? In those rare cases where a Christmas movie script does possess depth, you found a true gem. Now, while the original film we discussed yesterday is that rare gem, this one comes close, but it doesn't quite capture the same magic as the first one. Now, while Vanessa Hudgens is still as charismatic and radiant as ever, good enough to steal every scene she's in, especially with the third role of Fiona included here as well, I still watch this film every year, and I still can't get enough of it. However, I think because it's a lot of the same rehashed from the first film, it's ultimately why it suffers. Therefore, for me, when it comes to my rating of this film, it only gets 4.5 out of 5 stars. But what do you guys think of the Princess Switch switched again? Have you seen this one? Let me know. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let's have that conversation, that discussion, that debate, that discourse, those interactions, those engagements that I'm always trying to encourage you, my loyal viewers, to participate in and to give me. And as always, until next time, when we return to the theater for another brand new episode of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios YouTube channel, I have been your host, the Renegade J.J. Williams, thanking each and every one of you for joining me and for tuning in. And I will catch you guys next time.